Most people underestimate how powerful their mornings actually are, but the truth is, your morning habits can completely transform your mindset, your energy, your discipline, and the direction of your entire life. Because the way you start your day shapes the way you live your day, and the way you live your day shapes the life you end up creating. The morning habits that changed my life didn't come from some overnight miracle. They came from simple, consistent actions that slowly rewired my mind, elevated my standards, and forced me to rise above the version of myself that was comfortable staying the same. The first habit was waking up earlier. Not extremely early, not in some unrealistic 5 a.m. hero way, but early enough to have quiet time before the world started demanding things from me. Waking up early gave me control, because instead of reacting to life, I began directing it. It was in those early minutes that I realized discipline is built before sunrise. The next habit was staying away from my phone. Most people ruin their day in the first 60 seconds by scrolling, comparing, consuming, and overwhelming their brain with fear, noise, drama, and distraction before their feet even touch the floor. I decided I wouldn't start my day with chaos. I'd start it with intention. That one change alone increased my mental clarity, my focus, and my confidence more than any motivational quote ever could. The next habit was making my bed, not because it's some magical hack, but because it gave me a small, immediate win. It created order in my environment and reminded me that discipline is built through little victories, not big dramatic changes. Then came hydration. Drinking water first thing in the morning instead of caffeine changed my energy, my skin, my focus, and my digestion in ways I didn't expect. I stopped waking up feeling tired and started waking up feeling alive. Another habit that changed my life was moving my body every morning. Sometimes a full workout, sometimes a short stretch, sometimes a walk, sometimes just a few minutes of breathing deeply. I realized movement wakes up more than just your muscles. It wakes up your confidence, your motivation, and your inner drive. The days I moved my body were always more productive, more focused, more intentional. Then came the habit that truly transformed my life: writing. I started journaling for just 5 minutes every morning, writing my goals, my intentions, my thoughts, my gratitude, my obstacles, and my vision. Over time, I noticed something powerful. Journaling didn't just organize my mind, it aligned my life. It made me honest. It made me self-aware. It made me intentional. I stopped living on autopilot and started living on purpose. Another habit that changed my life was reading or listening to something positive every morning. Even if it was just 10 pages of a book or 10 minutes of a podcast, feeding my mind something that made me stronger set the tone for the entire day. When you start your morning with wisdom, your day becomes sharper, calmer, and more focused. Another life-changing habit was planning my day the night before and reviewing it in the morning. Instead of waking up confused, I woke up with direction. I knew what mattered. I knew what my priorities were. I stopped wasting hours trying to figure out what to do next because the plan was already there waiting for me. This simple act doubled my productivity and killed my procrastination. Then came a habit most people ignore: silence. Every morning I spent a few minutes just breathing, thinking, reflecting, being still. Those moments of silence grounded me. They cleared my anxiety. They sharpened my intuition. They made me better at making decisions. In a world full of noise, silence became my superpower. Another habit that changed my life was exposing myself to cold water, sometimes a cold shower, sometimes splashing cold water on my face. It shocked my nerves awake, boosted my energy, cleared my mind, and taught me how to embrace discomfort instead of running from it. Once I learned that starting my day with discomfort made the rest of the day easier, everything changed. What also transformed me was practicing gratitude, not in a cheesy way, but in a real, grounded way. Every morning I reminded myself of what I had, what I survived, what I was building, and what I was blessed with. Gratitude shifted my mindset from "I don't have enough" to "I'm becoming enough." It killed jealousy, comparison, and fear. Another life-changing morning habit was protecting my energy. I stopped talking to negative people early in the day. I stopped letting drama, arguments, or stress enter my morning. Your morning is sacred. You shouldn't let anyone poison it. Once I created boundaries around my peace, my entire emotional state improved. Another powerful habit was visualization. For a few minutes each morning, I imagined the future I wanted, the person I wanted to be, the lifestyle I wanted to live. Visualization made my goals feel real. And when something feels real in your mind, your actions naturally start matching that belief. Another crucial habit was prioritizing the hardest task first. Instead of spending my morning doing easy, meaningless tasks, I tackled the one thing that would make the biggest difference. This built unshakable discipline. It rewired my brain to chase progress instead of comfort. And as the days passed, I watched myself become stronger, more organized, and more in control. These morning habits didn't just make my mornings better, they made my life better. I became more confident, more intentional, more driven, more at peace, and more aligned with the person I wanted to become. When you control your morning, you control your momentum. When you control your momentum, you control your energy. When you control your energy, you control your decisions. And when you control your decisions, you control your life. The morning habits that changed my life weren't dramatic. They were simple, consistent, and intentional. And if you build them, even slowly, they will change your life too. Because the truth is this: your mornings are the most powerful opportunity you get every single day to reset, refocus, and rise. Your morning is where discipline is built. Your morning is where direction is created. Your morning is where success truly begins.